this video is not meant to be, it's not meant to be, but I feel strongly to bring across messages to y'all. And it's been my spirit a lot, how it seems that like a lot of other people may seem they could get away with all of these kinds of evils, atrocities, and not feel any remorse or conviction. And someone like me, if I do something wrong, if I sin, like I feel absolutely awful about it, and it affects my spirit for a long time, and I slowly recover from what I have did. That's in the past of just living a life of sin, and it really always have affected me from when I was around people. I don't know, fourth, fifth grade, I was sitting with kids, and of course I want to be accepted, so I laughed when I didn't think things were funny. And I was like, these kids tell me this like the boring stuff. It's nothing personal against them, but they just tell me stuff that really just was not funny. And I would just laugh with it. And in those laughs, I remember my spirit, what am I doing? Just my authenticity, my spirit, this feels drained. And then I really try to give people the utmost respect, asking them like genuine questions, and of course when you're a kid. As I go older in high school, I try to look for the best in people, and I always ended up disappointing myself. And I'm like, so being a quality person, doesn't really get you popularity, but being a person of gossip, slander, ego, and pride, and being fake gets you tons of friends. So I learned that very quickly. That's like, I guess, the first red pill moment in my life, my youth. But as I slowly went through school and just living life as a person in the world in school, it's like what I was trying to do. I knew I was spiritually gifted from a young age, from 3-4 years old. I have a really good memory, and I was so playful, I was so adventurous, I was so happy, and my spirit was super high. I remember just be climbing trees and I felt like, now what's that Bible verse where it says that you can't see the kingdom of heaven unless you become little children again? I can understand where it's like, the children just don't have a spirit of fear, they have spirits of joy, happiness, and it's just so beautiful to see. And so back, a little sidetrack, but back to what I was talking about in school. I just felt like, okay, I'm trying to do, and this is beside me trying to make friends. I'm trying to do the right thing. I was calm, cool, collected, but every time teachers would just shut down my spirit, and I would just be confused. I was like sitting at a desk, dehydrated, having to pee, and it's like, because they don't let you use the restroom in school. You have to raise your hand, be a good boy, good girl, or else you can't get a hall pass. Shh, be quiet, go sit in timeout. Just the annoying stuff. And it's just everything that I was like going against doing the right thing in my spirit. And of course, not every single little thing at school was bad, but I just felt, being of this world, and just, I couldn't really have an outlet of just growing. And when I'm thinking in terms of, it always felt unnatural when I was like, I wasn't going against the grain, it's like grain was going against me. Is this, the more I was trying to be a good person, I was trying to be like trying to bring people up, seeing the good in people. I always just like, people just didn't appreciate that, or might have thought I was weird. or my play, like my childlike spirit, just others just found it weird and didn't make any sense because everyone, during my high school years, middle school years, just thought that was just very strange and they're so worldly. So I always stood out among the crowds, and it's fun talking about this. It really is. I like storytelling. It's a nice sunny day. Sun's coming out. Kids would tell me stories of classmates, peers, of them not really, of them saying stuff to me of, well, this is what happened after high school technically, but this one guy came up to me saying he didn't feel any remorse if a family member got cancer. He wouldn't feel sad, he wouldn't feel remorse, he wouldn't feel bad for them. It is how it is. And I somehow found myself trying to empathize and try to see the good in people too much, which got me into trouble. Like, I really try to like people at their core and bring them up, but every time I was trying to save them, they just went back to their ways. And this was before I was saved and found God. I always knew God existed, but I just, at that time, I was deceived. Plain and simple. And this is like all for informative purposes, like this a story of mine, and I really want you guys to take from this, learn from it. And I thought myself, like, I'm trying to help these people, lift them up out of darkness, and even though that I'm still pretty young, like 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, and I found myself with a lot of unfruitful conversations, and it was just, looking back, I cringe at it. It was just so lifeless, because of course I never struggled, quote unquote, to make friends. I was always social and talkable with people, but on a deeper level, I always ask people, hey, how's it going? And it's just people would always, I was kind of the scapegoat, and I was always the one putting in the effort, and things didn't necessarily get reciprocated back, but I was told you were supposed to be that way because everyone used to think like you, and I used to think everyone thinks like you, and I was so wrong. I was man, lazy. It's like those Pop-Tart commercials. Lazy good. Lazy good. But good, I don't think so. And it seemed I was always trying to save a bunch of these kids from bad situations. Like, I talked to so many depressed kids from my middle school, high school years, like the kind of kids that just be sitting in the music room alone, and I try to uplift them, and I know I truly made an impact on a lot of these kids because I showed them love, respect, and I accepted them for them. Like, even the kids that, like, we all know, like, kind of those NPC kids, or kids that are, like, not popular in school or just there. And some of these kids, I can understand why no one wants to talk to them. Not all the time, but some of these kids, I gave this one kid a lot of my attention and a lot of my, like, respect, asking questions, and it's just like, I see him, this guy, these kids just don't ask me how I'm doing, or, like, just don't have reciprocated energy. And it's like, man, society is just straight up lying to me, and this is, if someone would have told me, like, hey, don't always give your energy to these people, don't deserve it, then I wouldn't do it. But, like, since it's like my parents, everyone in my family was like, even in 4th grade, I remember I had a birthday party. I was inviting kids from my class, and this one kid was starting saying weird crap to me, and I felt my intuition I shouldn't invite this kid. But then my family's like, oh, you should invite him, be inclusive, be a good friend. I'm like, what is the definition of a good friend, really? So that's interesting how just society works. So towards the end of my high school career, you want to call it, it wasn't a career, but I said that, I was like, well, a lot of the things I learned from 18 years was just, I felt like it was pointless because everyone had this idea of like life's meaningless. And oh yeah, I forgot about this. I was gonna add, I ended up having unfruitful conversations with these kids, and they would always like, I always told them, hey, God exists, bro, you know, I believe there's a higher purpose. And I ended up getting these hour-long weird fruitless debates of like, these kids would just say, oh, everything when you die just goes black, and they were so negative. And it's just like, you know, it's forced to sit with them in class, and it's just, I thought I was their friend. I was trying to like I said, you know, I'm empathic. I try to see the good in them. I was trying to bring them up, and it's just, what was I doing? And no one told me how to just tell people to get lost, like, you know, which I learned. I was like totally red pilled when I was 18 years old. I was full on self improvement. So, but also was a deceitful path, I must say, per se. Like, so my spirit was really just in a cringy, weird place at 18 and 17. I felt good and confident. I had so many blessings. I saw God's blessings. I saw the consequences of my actions, and I learned the hard way because, you know, I'm hard-headed. And I'm not perfect either. You know, I did some things. You know, I rebelled. I did some sins. I did that. And I had a strong sense of justice. A lot of these kids I talked to was like, I was so just, I just didn't really want to deal with people anymore because they were just, like I said, I don't have a problem making friends. You know, I was always, I guess I was kind of popular in a way, but like I knew I couldn't really connect with people on a deeper level because a lot of conversations people like to have are just fruitless, worldly things. And I did have some good friends when I was a kid. You know, we talked about, there was kids I did like and connect with. I'm not gonna say there wasn't. There was. You know, lost touch with them. So whoever you are now, wherever you are now, shout out to you guys. You guys are cool. But I learned that Bible verse a while back of don't cast your pearls before the swine, and like talking, like giving your treasures to like dirty animals like pigs. And that's what I was doing a majority of my life without realizing it. I was trying to be the light of the classroom, the world, of helping people and being a good friend, even though they weren't my friends. They weren't really, they didn't have my best interest at heart. But the way society told me, it told me to, like, you know, be friends of everybody and to be there. And I did change some people's lives. And it was like when they saw my spirit happy, full of joy. Like, I'm not materialistic at all. I love climbing trees, hiking, and when I was a kid, I was always causing trouble, mischief. Like, I was just jumping pile of leaves. And it's just, even at school in the playground, it's just, some kids pop my jaw. Some kids would just be super cool, and I get this, my spirit, my intuition at its core, I could tell when something was just wrong with an adult, a teacher, or other student. If they were sad, if they were depressed, dark. I went up to one kid in middle school. We were at some a stock show, and he was just like very nasty to me for no reason. So I just kind of looked at him. It's just like, these people, they're demons, man. They're demons. And man, it's all, a lot of people are so worldly and they don't even realize it. I feel sad for them. I truly do. In hindsight, I know that, yeah, I was definitely when I read Bible verses now, like don't cast pearls before swine, I'm like, I was definitely doing that for a lot of the time. Fruitless arguments. I went to a very, like, high school that was like very ghetto, not to be mean or anything, but it kind of was, and the culture was like very hood-like, all different kinds of races, which is cool. I like seeing other people from different backgrounds, but everyone was so bitter and angry and just a dark environment. Like, I just want to leave this environment, go somewhere else. And if you don't leave environments like that, evil communications corrupt good manners, and you get one good apple, a bunch of bad apples. Eventually, that good apple is going to turn bad because it will just get rotten and it'll make the other ones rotten. But others don't feel the consequences of their actions or sins. It might seem like which I talked about earlier in this video, and it really is sad because the enemy's already got them by the chains. He's attacking us, people of God, like, because we are exposing him and knowing he's a liar and a fool, and he is full of lies. So it's truly a good thing. Coffee. It's truly a good thing that we feel conviction when we do have sinned or done sins in the past, because that means the Holy Spirit was within us. And in the Bible it talks about he that once sin is conceived, or once sin is done, you're done with a simple act, it produces death. Not literal death right away, but that could happen eventually, but like spiritually you're dead. It's just like the joy, my happiness, the fruits of your spirit are getting taken away from you. It's almost like a demon's like, ha, and then it grabs it and grabs something from you and takes it, and it's just sad. But guys, love y'all so much. God bless you. Peace.